Hey, welcome back. This is the Fender Chassis. My name's Scott, and you're watching episode 7 of Have You Seen My Tool? This week's episode focuses on throatless shears, specifically this Roper Whitney Model 38. But before we talk about this Model 38, let's talk about some other throatless shears that are available. For instance, this shear is a Beverly B1. These shears are available in 3 models, a B1, B2, and a B3. This B1 is capable of 16 gauge capacity, so somewhere around 0.60. Its benefit is that it's really good at cutting radiuses, good at cutting inside corners. These are pretty pricey. This B1 I think is going for around $800 now, brand new. You can get these as a knockoff as cheap as $100. But we'll talk here in a minute about why the knockoffs aren't such a great deal. But the B2 and the B3 are obviously capable of a lot thicker, a lot higher capacity than the B1. So the Roper Whitneys, this is a Model 38, but they also offer a Model 39. The Model 39 is got a capacity of 1/8 of an inch. Now where they're separate, where they distinguish themselves from the Beverly shears, is they're really not capable of doing too many curves. For instance, you're not really going to do an inside curve with one of these Roper Whitney shears. And an outside curve, you're probably going to have to trim it up close and then come back for a final cut. Where they really distinguish themselves is with a straight cut. Now the Model 39 with the 1/8 inch capacity is available as a knockoff. Woodward Fabs. The version, I think Harbor Freight also has a version of the Model 39. But this is a Model 38. The Model 38 has a capacity of 3/16 of an inch. And I find that really handy. I make a lot of brackets and sometimes they're made out of 3/16 plate. And so this helps you really get those things whittled down, you know, shy of having a large press brake or something of that nature. I don't keep it mounted, I keep it under the bench. When I need it, I can just pull it up and clamp it to the bench. One thing that's different about this from the factory is this hold down bolt. This is to hold the material so that it doesn't try to tip when you cut. Now, it didn't have this when I got it. It should have had something. The bolt was missing. I added this carriage bolt. It's a little long, but it allows me to adjust it from up here and functions as good as what the factory would have had there. And that's one benefit of these quality throatless shears, is that they do provide a better cut. Now this shear is available new today from Roper Whitney, and I don't believe anybody's knocking it off, but it's available for around $800. There are several tool stores that are selling it. You just do a search for Roper Whitney Model 38 and you're going to find at least one that sells it for just shy of 800 bucks. Some go over $1,000, but you're not going to be able to buy this as a knockoff. But if you don't want to pay the 800, another option would be to buy one used like I did. I paid around 200 bucks for this piece. I got it off of eBay, and it functions great. It has been used, but when you buy a good tool like this, they still have a lot of life left in them. They'll last for years and years. And for what I use it for, it'll probably last me my lifetime. Currently, I don't think there's any of these on eBay. I think I did see where one sold a few weeks back for around $300 used. It was in really nice shape. It looked really good in the pictures. Way nicer than what this one was even. So, $300 for an $800 tool, that's not a bad investment. And I think once you see how well it cuts, you'll agree that it's probably worth that. And why don't we cut some stuff? I've got a piece of angle iron, a 3/16 angle, and what I like to do is just miter the corners of that and show you how easy it is to put a miter on the end of a piece of angle iron. And I've got a piece of 1/8 inch plate. I couldn't find any 3/16 plate that was handy and ready to cut up, but I've got a piece of 1/8 inch plate. Let's do 2 things with that. A lot of times I'm making brackets and I want to round over a corner. So although you can't cut a round corner with this very easily, you can knock the corners off of something pretty easy. So we'll mark that up, put a radius on it, and we'll cut that corner. And then from there, we'll see what we can do, how easy it is to cut how thin of a sliver we can cut off the edge of a sheet. You know, a lot of times when you're making something and you're trying to you know, work it up so that it fits well, you may want to just trim just 1/8 of an inch off the edge of the sheet, and your options are slim on how to do that. We want to see how close we can get with this shear. And then I'll do a slideshow like we always do at the end with some close-up pictures and let you get a little better look at this, and then we'll call it a day. All right, let's get after it. Okay, so you can see from there, it'd be a short trip on the disc grinder to get that corner rounded off. Let's see how thin of an edge I can trim off of that. Well, there you can see, of course I was a little thicker when I started on this end, but well, that's right down there to like a 1/16 of an inch. So that's slicing a 1/16 of an inch off of the edge of a piece of 1/8 inch plate. Let me get you some pictures. I'll see you at the end. All right, hey folks, there you go. Thanks for watching episode 7 of Have You Seen My Tool? Don't forget, thumbs up, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you next Sunday on episode 8.